What's up guys, I'm here with another video. Welcome to episode 14 of Let's Build a City. Today we're building a classic KFC. So yeah. Today we're building a classic KFC. So yeah. Anyways, let's build a classic KFC. Finger licking good.
Hey, what's up YouTube? In this
Hello games that break your brain, welcome to live stream.
KFC for all of your city building needs. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please remember to click that like, as it really helps me and the channel out very, very much. This is the amount of space required to make your KFC a 25
Hopefully you guys can hear me.
The white concrete brick on the ground, which you are more than welcome to make if you do feel as though I'm out your I'd highly recommend it if you are planning out a city, you don't want to place this where you should. Here are all of the materials required to make.
Anyway, let's grab the materials that we need. So first we need terracotta. Sorry if you guys hear that. My brother has his friend over, and yeah. And then we grab black stained glass pane, and finally we grab terracotta. Signed terracotta.
So now that we have all of that stuff, we can begin building. First of all, come all the way over to the left-hand corner of your grid, if you've made it. Count right of the corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then inwards, 1, 2, 3.
Alexa, turn on Jen's room.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yes.
What we then want to do is start off the build by placing a terracotta on the ground. Place 3 upside down polished andesite stairs right of this. 1, 2, 3. Place a terracotta on the end with a white concrete going right. Another terracotta. Then place a cyan terracotta. Extend up by 2. 1, 2. Extend right 2. 1, 2. And then down 2 to hit the ground. We then want to essentially repeat that row over here. So terracotta, white concrete, terracotta, 3 upside down stairs, 1, 2, 3, and then another terracotta. We then want to start extending backwards, and we're going to extend back by 3 upside down stairs, 1, 2, 3, then 5 terracotta, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are then going to extend all the way across the back of the build until we line up with the front of the build, basically where we very first started. And then we are going to have 2 more windows. So it's going to be 3 upside down stairs, terracotta, basically where we very first started. And then we are going to cross the back of the build until we line up with the front of the build, basically where we very first started. And then we are going to have 2 windows. So it's going to be 3 upside down stairs, terracotta, 3 upside down stairs. The floor plan should look a little something like this. Nice and simple. What we then want to do is we want to work on the walls. So I think that first of all we're going to work on the entrance because it's quite different from the rest of the build. The white concrete is where we want to be. We want to extend the 2 white concretes that we have towards us. We want to extend them up by 3. 1, 2, 3, and you can even do it to the block behind as well if you like. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, just like every single one. We want to join them together in the middle. This is above the entrance. This should allow us to place, by the way, left and right of the actual main entrance, the door. We want to further extend the white concrete on the left and right side upwards by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It might even be... No, it is 5, so extend one side up by 5, join it down, and then if you like, you can even add an extra row directly behind all of it. The next thing that we want to do is add a layer of birchwood planks inside the, I think it is a square, the square that we have created at the top of the build like this, right? Grab the red concrete and we want to place 3 strips of vertical red concrete extending upwards inside the area that we have just made. This will allow us to later place a sign directly in the middle and it will look dead good. Now that we've done that, we're going to add blue concrete on top of this, and then we're going to extend the left and right sides of the blue concrete backwards by 6. Or, as a matter of fact, let's make sure that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Essentially...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
The reason that we wanted to count that, to make sure there was indeed 6, was so that it formed a square. With this square, we're going to add a row of red concrete inside of it, like this. So above and inside of the blue square, we want to have a red square. And then inside that red square, we actually just want another red square, believe it or not. And then, I'm doing a horrible job here, so after we then have the slightly smaller square, we want to have the smallest square we can make, which is just a single block. So essentially we want to end up with something that should look exactly like this, and we'll work on that a little bit later when we grab some new materials. Okay, rest of the build. What do we want to do here? When we have the polished cannon side, we want to have 2 rows of glass on top. Now, it's up to you whether you want to use pane or block. Block is easier to handle, whereas pane gives you depth. And depth is somewhat desirable, especially when the build is pretty much just a rectangle with a tower. So it's quite nice to have a little bit of depth here and there. Not that it matters too much in the grand scheme of things, but it is a nice little percentage upgrade. So anyway, once you've figured out all of the whether or not you're going to have the pane or block, you're going to want to then, on top of all of the windows, place alternating red and white concrete, starting with red. So, of course, these are the KFC colours, classic red and white, and at a previous time, blue was also in there as well. However, pretty much nowadays, I think KFC is pretty much just branded with red and white, but there was a time when that wasn't the case, hence why this is a classic KFC and not a regular one. So now that we have done this, we have to place a load of birchwood planks. So there's only one place that we don't have to place birchwood planks exactly. There is a drive-through window on the right side of the build, opposite where would be a window, so like right next to here. So if you place 2 rows, start off with 2 rows of birch planks, one on the side of this window and one on the back corner of the build, and you just want to leave these 3 rows alone for the most part. You just want to add a row at the top, you want to leave these 2 rows alone below, except for the fact that you also want to add glass pane on the left and right sides, and then you can pass things through the drive-through window. Easy peasy. The remaining area of KFC wants to be filled in. So when I say filled in, I mean you want to add rows of birchwood planks in between all of the windows, across the back, all of that. You want to add 3 rows in total of birchwood planks, wherever you can slot it in essentially, on top of terracotta. However you want to think about it, it doesn't matter. We want to make this ship airtight, so we want to have, I'm really bad at placing blocks today, honestly. We want to have something which should look like this. We then want to add a layer of chiseled quartz block on top of this to give us a cool effect. The colour scheme of the old KFCs was a little bit weird. It wasn't even necessarily birch, it was kind of like a very, very pale pink colour with like really weird looking greys mixed in. A chiseled quartz looks a bit better than that, so we have substituted some. That's why we have like some interesting materials. But on top of this, we want to have red concrete. The chisel quartz actually does represent kind of like this textured stone that they used. It is quite close to the actual proper classic KFC, except I have substituted a couple of colours. And on top of the red, we want to have a blue. That would be the final layer, by the way. So, yeah, whilst this isn't strictly like colour palette for like colour palette, similar to the exact same as the previous like classic KFCs, I have changed it to make it much more visually appealing. We could have actually achieved how they did properly look by using terracotta, but they are really ugly. Like they're mega ugly. So we've upgraded it a little bit. We want to fill the roof in. The roof I'm going to fill in primarily with, I'm just going to replace blue concrete. I don't really want to add a contrast material to it. I quite like blue because they...
Alexa, turn on Jaden's lights to purple.
Alexa, turn Jaden's light blue.
Okay.
Can they stop messing with my light?
Jackson's over and he's messing with Alexa.
Just tell him to stop. Tell him to stop messing around with my light.
A lot of it in the build, really. So, especially if you have it's just the one layer, and then on the inside I have as much blue iron. We want to join the, what I would call the tower, the entrance tower, down to the actual roof of the building as well. So we're going to use my concrete for that. Whilst we're up here, we're going to add. The tower had like a mishmash of black. It was like a mixture between them. So we're going to use my concrete for that. Whilst we're up here, down to the actual roof of the building as well. So we're going to use my concrete for that. Whilst we're up here, we're going to add. The tower had like a mishmash of black. It was like a mixture between like red and white, and it kind of like made a weird pattern. Like it was almost like a chessboard sort of pattern. Like it was kind of like this, really. So you can, if you want to, you can either, but this is up to you. You can do it this way or the other one. Like you can either splice in rows of white concrete. Every other red concrete block, like we have here, which I actually like. Actually, I think I actually prefer that better. Or the original design was to place rows of smooth quartz slabs around it because I was under the impression that it looked better. But I actually prefer the alternating white and red rather than just the red. I think that actually looks better. No need for the slabs, and it maintains the shape. The reason I liked it with the quartz previously was because it kind of like made this bit more of a spire, it made it a bit taller. However, I actually quite like it how it is now, and I would never ask it to change. So now that we have done that, we can add some further details. There's always more details that we can add with these builds, I do find, and I do find that we're also missing a salient material as well. So what we're going to add first, we need flowers. We need string, we need find, and I do find we're also missing a salient material as well. So what we're going to add first, we need flowers, we need string, we need white carpet, we need red carpet. We will need smooth stone, we will need yellow carpet, we will need grey concrete. We will need other things as well, but I'm going to grab an observer and the mist material that I don't have, but will almost certainly be in the item list because it's very difficult to forget, leaves. Okay. First of all, I'm going to, this is a bit tricky, come all the way to the front left-hand corner of the grid, if you've made it. I'm going to dig out the corner of the grid and the block behind it and replace it with smooth stone. Right of this, I'm going to dig 3 rows, and I'm going to replace it with grey concrete. I'm going to come to the opposite side of the build and do the same. Dig out a row of 2, and then replace it with smooth stone. Left of this, 3 grey concrete, just like this. And then in between both sides, I want to have more smooth stone. So this...
Making sure that's 3 rows. Guys, I'll be right back. Alexa, turn Dune's light blue.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. I'll be back.
It's just a pavement or sidewalk, however you want to call it, an area on which we can walk on without getting hit by vehicles, preferably, and this will help integrate it into a city if that is what you want to do. If not, you don't have to have the pavement. But regardless of which, this is what we want to have. We want to have a row of 3 smooth stone that leads from the street, which is what we've just made, all the way to the doorway here. So, just like this, 3 rows of smooth stone. Like so. I want to have 2 rows of pathway. It's going to leave a gap of 1 between the edge of the entrance here, and the path is going to lead out on both sides until it is even and level. Well, oh no, we have to destroy the block. That's actually kind of annoying. Until it is even and level with the building. So if it makes sense, we're almost making a cross shape, sort of. To replace that grass that I destroyed because that was no bueno, and I'm going to place white tulips in front of the windows of the KFC on the left and right sides, leaving a small gap in front of them. I like how that looks. Okay, next we have to do something that is quite tedious. We have to dig up the grass inside the remaining area of the grid. So the grass is no longer needed. What is left is a drive-through that takes us all the way around the edge of our KFC in kind of a horseshoe shape, or a U. I like to think of it as a U shape, without the Y in it. And this is the driveway that I'm pretty much adding now. The driveway. A drive-through is just, it's essentially a driveway, same thing, and we're going to add the U shape, which leaves the car park. Now, I always want to encourage you guys to make different decisions based upon your needs. So if you're placing this in a city centre, probably not going to need the drive-through, probably not going to need the car park, although the car park makes more sense than the drive-through, perhaps, depending on where you're building this. But do feel free to change this build, depending upon what. Replacing this. Let's say that I was placing this in a densely packed city centre. I wouldn't have the road, I wouldn't have the drive-through, I might not even have any sort of car park whatsoever. So you're just going to have to make these decisions for yourself. But the option this here if you want it that way. I'm going to fill in the remaining space where we're having car park spaces, except for the middle area. So, basically, what this equates to is we have the central path, 3 rows of grey concrete on the left, 3 rows of grey concrete on the right, and that will leave a row of white concrete which is stuck in the middle. To do. So if you have the white concrete, the reason that I didn't place it initially was because I didn't have it out. But if you want, you can place the white concrete directly up the middle of it, just in a strip, and then grey concrete everywhere else. So that's what it will look like, just like that. Now, this gets a lot more content. Like, this looks a little bit weird, but if you place all the leaves around on top of the area of the concrete, which you're more than welcome to take out first if you like. Actually, I don't know really. I like it underneath the green because it seems as though it highlights it, but no, I understand it that way. And this gives you a nice idea now of how this area operates. So if I was to come to the back here, I want like a little drive-through menu, and I want a speaker box. Now, I'm going to have it so that the speaker box even add another window on the back. That is something that I could potentially add here. As a matter of fact, I'll do it because I think it will look a little bit better. So before we add the speaker box, white stained glass pane, red concrete, white concrete, string, both of the carpets, not the yellow, although we do need the yellow as well. There's a lot of stuff to do, ladies and gentlemen. I want the observers. Easy peasy, 3x3 row, we just want to dig it out 1 row away from the corner. We want 2 rows of glass as we have placed for all of the other windows, and then we want red, white, red above. Now, what we're going to do for all of the other windows as well is we'll place a string in front of the top of the glass panes of the window. That will allow us to place carpet on top of the string, and then that will allow us to have, I don't know what to call it other than a canopy above the window. It's basically just a nice colourful carpet. I think it's supposed to keep rain off of windows, but it also looks quite nice aesthetically. So we want to have this all the way around. It allows us to place carpet on top of the string, and then that will allow us to have, I don't know what to call it other than a canopy above the window. It's basically just a nice little bit of colourful carpet. I think it's supposed to keep rain off of windows, but it also looks quite nice aesthetically. So we want to have this all the way around, just like so. Well, not quite like so. Hopefully you're doing a better job than I am, honestly. I don't know where it's box today, but I am not having an easy time placing these. So here, here, and here. Now, the reason that we added this window, not only do I think that it looks a little bit better, it's something that we might want to do as well if we are having a window, and we might want to have the underside below it as well, though it's not 100% required. Left of this, I want to have a little menu, and the menu is just going to be 2 sets of item frames like this on the left and right, just leaving a gap of 1 between the window, and then I want to use signs left of these, and let's, depending on what's in here, like you'd put, you know, One Piece, not the anime, so depending upon what's in here, like you'd put, you know, One Piece, not the anime, as in chicken, One Piece, 2-piece group. You guys get the idea, but we can alter that later if we're going to do it. And then in the item frames, this is completely up to you what you want want to put. This is KFC, so I think you guys know pretty much where is the cooked food. Over here. So you guys know exactly what to expect from KFC, right? I mean, I'm just going to fill these up with like basically like bread and chicken, and of course or just straight fried chicken. If you want, you can add like cakes and stuff in there. You can really alter it a little bit, but just to give you an idea, I want to add, I think we've got to place this backwards. We have, for the speaker box, I like the observer. The observer is going to be placed central, so where the middle set of item frames are, that's the observer, and I like that as a little bit of a speaker box. If you wanted to, of course, you could make this perhaps a little bit, place it backwards again, so you can place it like this, and then you could grab, we don't have a button that's really suitable for it, so something that you could grab, and this is completely up to you, so a downright wall, some sort of wall, and there you go, nice little speaker box. You could even interrupt the hedge with it, if you wanted to. You could have it placed here, and then maybe, because obviously cars don't really exist in Minecraft, then, you know, you could just place a car like here, it wouldn't be able to get by, but yeah, that's a couple of alternate solutions you may or may not want to do for the speaker box, but anyway. That's that done. We want to come to this side, and above the drive-through window, honestly, I'm thinking about just adding the same canopy. Originally, I added upstairs, but I'm thinking it might make a bit more sense just to add the canopy. And it might even make a little bit more sense also to use the white and red concrete too, above the drive-through window. We're making changes, ladies and gentlemen, and we're making positive changes. So that looks pretty cool. I really like that. That's perfect. So what does that leave us? For the car parking spaces, I'm going to add yellow carpet to the end of the spaces. This adds another little bit of colour. It hopefully further demonstrates the car park spaces, and it just breaks up the environment a little bit. It's very grey around here, very, very grey. What about the outside of KFC? What do we have? Well, we need a loop, we need the blue banners, and we need... throw down the loom, and we just have to make 3 letters, so hopefully this won't be too painful. You guys may know, not my favourite thing to make banners, but hey, it's just 3 of them. So, first of all, we need to make K. Vertical row of white diagonal on the left side, and then we want both of the diagonal rows of white. So, top left corner to bottom right corner, and bottom right corner to top left corner, or vice versa, whichever it is. Bottom left to top right, top left to bottom right. That's what we want to have, and that will make K. We have to make N, which is a vertical row of white diagonal on the left, and then 1 row of white across the top, and an additional row of white straight in the middle, leaves C. And C is basically just very, very simple. It's a row of vertical white on the left side, and a horizontal row across the top, horizontal row across the bottom, boom, KFC. This is to be placed here in the middle of the sign, KFC, just like that, and that looks pretty good. I'm very happy with that. The only thing that I am thinking about adding, to tell you the truth, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm not quite sure how I would implement it, is, I didn't do this originally, but I was thinking about maybe adding a sign, a KFC sign, to the left here. So I was thinking, like, in league or in line, whatever you want to think about it, with the car parking spaces here, dig into the hedge, add a row of blue concrete, possibly about as high as the, like, lower part of the KFC, and then add a sign that's just big enough to have like KFC in it. So maybe something like this, or maybe I'd make it a bit higher and lower. I said that in reverse, but I meant the same thing like this. And then we could have another KFC sign if we wanted to. I think that might look pretty good. I quite like that. I don't think that's too bad. I do actually quite like that. I think that's alright. I think I've actually made it the same height as the other KFC sign as well. I swear that I didn't mean to do that. That's kind of weird how it ended that way. But yeah, I think that's alright. But we could drop that down, or we could just leave it, or yeah, I'll leave that up to you. Anyway, what do we want to do next? Ladies and gentlemen, we're pretty much done with the inside of the build now. Very, very happy with it. But the only thing that we're going to do, we are going to try and maximise the materials that we want, so that we don't have to too much away and that much do. So we need chiseled quartz, we need the blue concrete, we need a door, that's very important, we need red concrete, and we need the stairs anyway, so they have came in handy regardless. We need to use, we need the red we need a door, that's very important, we need red concrete, and we need the stairs anyway, so they have came in handy regardless. We need to use, we need the red carpet, and honestly that may be that, we can use the glass pane, and then I think that we can also utilise the white carpet as well. And if we can use anything else, we'll do it as we go. So I'm going to delete the block underneath the door, place a chiseled quartz, and we're going to place a door here instead. That's a dark oak door. I have been considering that I might like an oak door better. I don't know. I might mess about with that later. I've got to rip up the entire floor. The entire floor is going to be chiseled quartz. I think it'll make the area look a little bit better and nicer. A lot of the furniture, a lot of the couch space and such is made out of red concrete. So I just found myself that mine would help to keep it a little bit lighter. I might even implement a little bit of blue, and I might also, I think that blue might be a good idea. I'm actually using it for the ceiling anyway. I can't really think of, I mean, terracotta would work for the ceiling as well. Grey would work for the ceiling, but I don't know, I think grey might be a bit too dark. Blue concrete isn't too bad of an idea. It also is, I believe, what we've used for the roof anyway. We just have to drop the roof down a bit because it's a bit higher. I only want to drop the roof down to where basically where this chiseled quartz is here. This is where I want to drop the roof down to using blue concrete, and then we'll install some lights when we grab some new materials. So we just want to have something which should look like this. Of blue, sort of. Across, joining the chiseled quartz together, and then we're going to use a little bit of red concrete. So in the corners, basically just on the inside of these and inside stairs, I'm going to place a corner row of red concrete with smooth quartz stairs all the way around the inside. I'm going to leave a gap of 1, and then I'm going to still use red concrete here and here, and then we'll have single tables just like this. So we've got kind of like a booth, and then we've got single tables. So it's not a massive KFC, this one. I want to hook up here, and then we'll have single tables just like this. So we've got kind of like a little booth, and then we've got single tables. It's not a massive KFC, this one. I want to have kind of like a condiments section, so you know, all the sauces and such. I'm going to leave a gap of 1 and have a row of 1, 2, 3 blue concrete. This is opposite the door. If you wanted to, you could place some more seating. So the seating could be, you could at least leave a gap of 1 between this, and then you could have like another set of double seats, kind of like this, just in the middle. I don't know whether that looks a little bit silly or not, but you'll have to decide that for yourself. It makes sense that there'd be a bit more variety of seating than we would otherwise have previously. We have to make the counter space for the cooking area and for the payment area and such. So in this back corner here, we're going to have a red concrete, leave a gap of 1, 2, 3, and then red concrete, extend towards you, gap of 1, red concrete, extend across. We're then going to leave a gap of 1 between this, and you can even place, if you start with I'll have to row of 1, 2, 3, 4 wide carpet, just leaving a row on the end here. Dig into the ground on the end, and then place a row of blue concrete inside with black stained glass, and then that kind of gives you like a uniform queuing area. And other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I did plan on adding a little bit of a rug, a little bit of carpet everywhere, but quite honestly, we have superseded the need for it, so we don't really need that whatsoever. I think we put a door on, didn't we? Perfect. So, all that's left is for us to put the final details inside of our KFC, and then that's it. And I promise you, there isn't too much to do in here. It's quite simple. Okay, I think that I have everything that we need to finish the build. Glowstone, oak trapdoor. End rod, red carpet, lanterns, flower bar.
I can just steal this.
Item frame, tripwire hook, and blue carpet. And we'll be grabbing everything else as we need it. So, first of all, the first thing that occurs to me is it is rather dark in here. So, let's add some lighting. The way that I want to add lighting is basically, first of all, where these windows cross-sect each other. In between these windows here, and in between these windows here, where they would naturally join together is here. So that's where I want to add the first light source. In addition to that, where we have the entrance, and in addition to that, where the other windows would reach each other as well. Now, that might be enough light for you, and if that is the case, very nice. If you want, you can add more lanterns, so more lanterns, we don't even have any. You can add some lanterns about the place if you so wish, wherever you feel as though they might go. That's not too bad. You can add more glowstone into the ceiling. The choices are yours. You can add torches, whatever you want to do. We can also light things up by placing end rods. We're using end rods as like the middle part of the table, the part that makes it, you know, be a table that's not just on the floor. So you're not just eating off a platform. So we're going to add the end rods in front of all of these seated areas, and I think that I'm actually going to alternate the table. So like this inside, I'm going to have red, and then I'm going to have blue, and I'm thinking that I might have white actually. I didn't plan for this, but I reckon that I'll have white, so it kind of goes with the colour scheme of our KFC. Now, I don't know whether we can do this in Bedrock, but you can do this in Java. This is a quick test. Can we place an item frame with a flower pot in front of it? We can't. Okay, so here's the thing. I would have liked it if we had flower pots, item frames behind. Inside the item frames, I'm missing material. Inside the item frames was like going to represent a source. These were going to be all the way across, and then we were going to have dispensers in the form of whiteboards. Unfortunately, in Bedrock, for some unknown reason, you can't place flower pots in front of item frames. Woe is me. So, it doesn't matter. It's okay. We can still have the item frames the way that they are. We just can't have them the way that I want them. But that's okay. You don't always get what you want. So, I'm going to use white dye, brown dye, and red dye. So, mayo, barbecue sauce, ketchup. Easy peasy. If you want to make this look a little bit more something, if you want to add more detail to it, feel free to add some buttons to these. Seems as though it's a thing that would be. If you are happy with that, I mean, we can add some paintings to the place as well. This is just something off the top of the dome. If you want, there we go. If you want, you can add some paintings to the area as well. Okay, how about that one? There we go. There. That's it's not much better. But if you want, you can add some paintings. Is the point I'm getting to here? Like, are you kidding me? How many paintings are there that you have to repeat? Lovely, I love that one. Fantastic. So you can add some paintings here and about if you like. It's completely up to you. It's just a. Will you please stop it? That's not bad either. I like that one. There we go. By the way, I think that's my favourite 1x1 painting. lighting, and I really like that one too. And there's another one that I like the carrot. There's just something about around the counter space. Well, we need flowers. Along the back here, we need brewing stands as well. Along the back here, we're going to have a couple of furnaces, and above those are going to be extractor fans that you're going to get. We're going to place so then the chicken's being cooked. To the right of this cauldron, and I was going to place a rail. So the reason that the rail's on the cauldron, it looks like a fryer, based on blue. In the back corner here, I'm going to use a lever and a brewing stand, like this. There we go, perfect. Along the top, I'm going to have item frames, and inside of a brewing stand, like this. There we go, perfect. Along the top, in the back corner here, I'm going to use a lever and a brewing stand, like this. There we go, perfect. Along the top, I'm going to have item frames, and inside of these, I'm going to have cooked chicken. You know, whatever you want to, like, it's up to you whether you want to go to the trouble of placing all of these and not the rail off. But you guys get the idea, it's completely... What else can we do to the inside here? I mean, we can add new stuff now that the tutorial is essentially concluded. I don't know, but we can have a couple of bins if we want. And there's not too much more that I would add. I mean, this is a really nice, simple, classic feeling KFC, and I reckon that we'll just leave it at that. I don't think that there's really too much more to add. Feel free to add more stuff if you do feel as though that there is more stuff you want to add. So this is what your classic KFC will look like once it's been 100% fully completed, ladies and gentlemen.
We have made a classic KFC. I really like this build. It looks pretty classic. I built this on building stuff, and I made it, and I refurbished it to a pretty cool design. But I think I'm just gonna leave the KFC how it looks. And I know you might not see the screen right now, but I have internet connection issues. So anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye.